more than 5,000 personality traits, the size of your letters, the spacing between words, and the shapes of your letters all signify different characteristics of your personality. In fact, there is a whole science behind the study and analysis of handwriting called graphology, and it has been around since the days of Aristotle. Today, graphology is used for a variety of purposes, from criminal investigations to understanding a patient's health. Some employers even use handwriting analysis to screen potential candidates for compatibility with their organization. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our distinguished guests. Tonight, let us find out what your handwriting says about you. So, before I move on, I would like to request all of you to please pull out this sheet of paper that you were given at the start of the meeting. You are requested to write down the 3 lines of text on the space given below, and now we're going to use that specimen of handwriting to conduct a quick analysis. So let's begin. The first thing we look at in handwriting analysis is the size of the letter. So if you use large letters, that means you are people-oriented, you're extroverted, and also that you like to stand out. On the other hand, if you use small letters and small size letters, that means that you have good focus and concentration, but you're also a little introverted. Next, we're going to look at is the slant of your handwriting. So if you have no slant present in your handwriting, that means you are logical, methodical, pragmatic, and not driven by emotions. On the other hand, if you have a right slant present in your handwriting, that again means you are extroverted and that you are emotional, impulsive, sentimental, and you value friends and family highly. Finally, if you have a left slant present in your handwriting, that indicates that you are a little reserved, you are an introvert, and perhaps also that you are a little self-centered. Next, we look at how much pen pressure you use while writing, so how much you press the pen when you write. So if you use heavy pressure in your handwriting, that indicates you're an emotional person and you're quick to react. On the other hand, if you use a soft pressure, light pen, that indicates that you are in control of your emotions and that you move on easily and you do not let your emotions wear you down. The next thing we're going to look at is the upper zone letters, but before we do that, I would like to quickly explain how zoning works in handwriting analysis. So over here, this is cursive handwriting, joint handwriting commonly called. The word is analysis, and this line is the baseline where the pen begins and ends, always on the baseline. If we connect a line parallel to the baseline, connecting the top of most letters, we get the middle zone. However, some letters go above the middle zone into the upper zone. They are called upper zone letters. And the portion that goes into the upper zone is called the ascender. Similarly, some letters go below the baseline into the lower zone and they're called lower zone letters, and the portion of the letter that goes into the lower zone is called a descender or the tail of that letter. So what can upper zone letters tell us about the writer? Well, if you have a loop inside your L, that means you have high hopes and dreams of the future. On the other hand, if you replace your L without a loop, that means perhaps your dreams and hopes have been spelled. So maybe you wanted to become a doctor, but your parents sent you to engineering school or business school, or vice versa. Similarly, if you have a loop inside your T, that means you're sensitive to criticism, and perhaps maybe even a little paranoid. On the other hand, if you replace your T without any loop, that indicates you're hardworking and you have good self-control. Next, we look at the lower zone letter, and mainly the letter Y. So if you have a slender or a small loop in the letter Y, that means you're very picky when selecting and choosing friends. On the other hand, if you have a large loop in the letter Y, that means you have a large friend circle. Similarly, if you have a long tail under the Y, long descender, that indicates you like to travel. On the other hand, if you have a short tail or short descender under the Y, that means you prefer to stay at home. The next thing we consider is how you dot your I's. So if you use a circular dot on the I, that means you are playful and childlike, and also that you have an artistic personality, so that you want to stand out from the crowd. On the other hand, if you use a solid dot above the eye, that means you pay great attention to detail and that you do not like clutter. Finally, we're going to consider how you cross your T's. So if you cross your T high on the ascender, that means you have a high self-esteem, so you're able to aim high in life. On the other hand, if you cross your T lower down on the ascender, that means perhaps you have some insecurities that prevent you from aiming high in life. So that was just a brief overview of handwriting analysis. The next time you get your hands upon a piece of handwriting, take some time out to apply some of these techniques that we learned tonight, and you'll be amazed by just how much you can learn about the writer. In a word, full of lies, deceit, and manipulation. It is ironic that something as trivial as a piece of handwritten note can give away so much information about our personality. Graphology is not 100% accurate. However, it is still quite effective, because while you can fake your personality, you cannot Photoshop your handwriting. Over to the Toastmaster of the evening.